another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show of people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen like dark blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count up. Wasted people, do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till time? Calling is a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show of people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen like dark blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning and welcome to Creme FM and XTV's WB Wake Up Billies Morning Vibes on this Friday, the 28th of June 2024. Can't believe we're away there, but we're away there. My name is Numi Usher. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. I hope you've rested well and are ready to take on this Friday. Before we get into the show, though, we have to give you the weather and the news. The news here is prepared by Creme FM and XTV's news desk. And the weather report is prepared by the National Meteorological Service. This morning, our forecaster is Derek Rodon.
Good morning. An approaching strong tropical wave will support showery weather over Belize today and tomorrow. The forecast for today is for cloudy skies with sunny breaks, along with a few showers and thunderstorms developing over most areas. Tonight, skies will be cloudy with some showers and thunderstorms over most areas, but especially northern districts. There is an excessive rainfall watch in effect for the possibility of heavy rainfall over the country during the next 48 hours. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the seas will be moderate. Maximum temperatures today will be around 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 92 inland, but only 79 degrees up in the mountains. The outlook for Saturday and Saturday night is for continuing cloudy skies with some showers and thunderstorms over most areas. There is a low tide at 9:20 this morning, a high at 3:10 this afternoon, another low 9:37 tonight, and another high at 3:50 tomorrow morning. The sun rose at 5:21 this morning and will set at 6:31 this evening. The moon sets at 11:44 this morning and comes up again at a minute after midnight tonight. In the tropical weather outlook, A broad area of low pressure over the western Caribbean Sea associated with a tropical wave continues to produce widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. This system has a low chance of development when it reaches the Bay of Campeche late tomorrow or Sunday. A low pressure system over the tropical Atlantic, about 1,500 miles east-southeast of the Windward Islands, has a high chance of development into a tropical depression or tropical storm during the next 48 hours. This system is moving west at 15 to 20 miles per hour and is expected to approach the Lesser Antilles by the end of the weekend. With that, we end this report from the Belize Weather Bureau.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Antonio Novello has written the Belize City Council demanding a payment of almost $500,000 for legal costs that accrued interest since 2009, when the then Supreme Court Justice Minette Hafiz issued a judgment in favor of Novello and ordered costs in his favor. It had to do with a sale of land at the Pong Yard by the council to Novello under the then mayor David Fonseca in 2002. The purchase price was $1.2 million. When UDP Mayor Zenaida Moya came into office, she made the accusation that Novello had only paid $139,000 and took him to court when Novello insisted that the full amount had been paid in cash and in kind with equipment rental, material, fuel, and the like. Yesterday, Moya told a colleague that she recalls the judgment, though not the figure, and that the council's finances at the time did not allow them to pay the bill. Novello wrote the current mayor a letter demanding payment on June 12th, and the council this week issued a statement saying it has so far been unable to locate the judgment, but if it is found to be legitimate, payments will be made accordingly if monies are not subject to any right to collection by a receiver. Novello's attorney, Arthur Saldiva, has since said the property was not in the Novello's bus company's name, and so no receivership is involved. He added that they had written the council about 5 months ago and tried to secure meetings with the mayor to no avail. He affirmed that his client did not intentionally allow interest to accrue on legal costs, and that at every change of administration, they would bring the judgment to the attention of the new mayor. We note that former mayor Darrell Bradley says he cannot recall the judgment. Saldivar noted that initially, Elson Kaseke defended Novello, and then Novello hired other attorneys to join the defense.
The council have always acknowledged the debt, but they have not discharged the debt. And with that debt, interest accrues. So I think that there was some communication between Mr. Novello and the council recently to try to secure those funds, because again, attorneys have been behind him trying to see if they can secure from him those legal fees.
You're saying that at every change in administration, you brought this judgment to the attention of each council, but when I've asked you for a timeline, you haven't told me in 2018 we went to the council or we wrote to Mayor Bernard Wagner. You pointed to 5 months, and then we know about this letter from June 13. So several years have passed since this present mayor has been in office at the council.
Let me say, each mayor since David Fonseca has been notified of this debt. Each mayor since David Fonseca. So count how many mayors that would have been. And that's how many mayors know of this debt.
So
and have been written to about this debt.
Your client has simply been waiting for interest to accrue deliberately.
No, not at all.
If Novello would accept terms of payment other than cash, Saldiva says he does not believe he can because it's for legal fees to go to attorneys that defended him. On a related note, there's a report the council is seeking to issue a stop order to City Shuttle, whom Saldiva is also representing. Reports are that the council would be looking to move against the company due to the non-payment of trade license fees due annually every December. Yesterday, Saldiva declined to confirm that Novello has shareholding in City Shuttle. This company is challenging the council's planned management of the e-buses to be introduced on July 19th. Minister of Human Development, Honorable Dolores Balderramos Garcia, has said she supports the network of NGOs in their campaign to advocate for the Equal Opportunities Bill to be taken to Parliament for enactment. The bill was withdrawn by the Barrow administration in the last quarter of 2020. The NGOs have said the bill has undergone a revision. However, at least one pastor has said that if the language remains controversial to them, they will, quote unquote, kill this bill. Here is how the minister responded to that position.
You know, that's unfortunate. I have said that in relation to the equal opportunities legislation, we have to take baby steps. You know, we have had a lot of progress in terms of signaling equality, inclusion, non-discrimination. We have made a lot of progress. And I believe that in this country, we shouldn't be focusing on some of the fundamentalist faith-based organizations who may have objection, but we should focus on the majority of the Belizean public who are signaling that not only we have tolerance, but we also have acceptance and an approach of non-discrimination. So I just want to say that the Belize network of NGOs, I support them in saying, Belize, we're ready. Let's move as much as we can towards doing whatever we have to do to signal non-discrimination. We still have a lot of discrimination of persons living with HIV, for example. You know, and so I would want to say that it's unfortunate that one or two faith-based fundamentalist organizations would wish to hold back an agenda whose time has come in terms of us really embracing non-discrimination.
However, the minister was more non-committal when we pressed for the status of the draft bill and if it would soon make its way to Parliament.
Are you any closer to taking that before Parliament?
Let me repeat, we're taking baby steps forward.
But a lot of consultation has already been done, Minister, and then the NGO community is saying the draft has been revised already. That's why I said we're ready.
I said it already. I support the NGO community in continuing to press. I support that. But again, with the little steps that as we go forward, I mean, I can't speak for what will come to cabinet.
But there will be another round of consultations.
If there are further consultations, all the better. Because I am saying to you that I support the Belize network of NGOs in saying that we're ready. And personally, I can speak for myself. It is time for us to move forward, to take further steps in terms of protection of people, recognition of vulnerable people, and making sure that there is non-discrimination in our country. I can't say more than that at this time.
Minister of Agriculture and Area Representative for Orange Walk South, Honorable Jose Mai, shared his concerns over the latest uptick of criminal activity in the Belize and Cayo districts. Mai says he supports the state of emergency and believes it should be extended to 90 days.
Fully support the state of emergency, and I support 90 days. Because 30 days seems not to be working. And I think that these people are getting bolder and bolder every day. We cannot live in a society of crime. It has to be managed. Crime is all over the world. But we must manage it, and we must make decisions, tough decisions, to manage it so that the people feel secure in their homes and at their jobs. So it's a bad thing, crime is a bad thing, and I think that government has taken steps to correct.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister shared his thoughts on the proposed 90 days for a state of emergency. He said it was the recommendation by both the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, and the Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Karim Musa.
It's really a sad state of affairs when we have our young people behaving in such lawless fashion. A small group, I need to make that point. No? And certainly maybe we've done the 30-day, and it cools them off for a little while, and then they go back to the same kind of behavior. So the recommendation from the commissioner and the minister of police, they are the ones that recommended that maybe we should consider extending the state of emergency in these areas for 90 days. But at the same time, we're quickly pointing out that it does not mean that we're going to infringe in the movement of our citizens. Our law-abiding citizens have nothing to worry. Their lives and their daily moves in and out remains the same. It's only the people that we believe that are out there creating havoc and creating this lot of trouble, and even with the murders and shooting. I think we need to get them off the street. And hopefully with the 90 days to allow them either to calm down, but at the same time for the police to do a proper investigation to see who are these people that have been creating all of this problem in our society.
Yesterday, we received a printed letter reportedly by a gang leader in Belize City complaining about abuses by the authorities during the state of emergencies. He writes, quote, "The treatment of detainees during the period has been deplorable. He points to detainees being stripped of their clothing and being given minimal supplies, which include a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, 3 pairs of boxers, a jumpsuit, a towel, and a blanket." He adds that the food was substandard, including undercooked beans, and the sanitary conditions appalling, having not been provided with the items necessary for basic hygiene. An example of 1 roll of toilet paper for 2 weeks was given. Additionally, he complains about the lack of communications and visitation rights, and affirms that while it is understood that there will be some rights suspended during a state of emergency, some basic rights cannot be trampled upon. The Supplies Control Unit within the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is currently investigating the 20 sugar wholesalers who purchased sugar from BSI to supply local retailers. But authorities believe some are selling the product to buyers across our borders. On Wednesday, Minister Hosemai said the cabinet has been updated on the situation.
Yeah, there were 21, 22 persons who receive or buy sugar from BSI in large amounts. Of those, I think 5 were the ones that the supplies control found to be selling their sugar on the local market. The other 15 or 16, we don't know where they sell the sugar. But my recommendation is very simple, right? Back in the past, there was in the regulation a license to wholesale rice when we had the rice war many years ago, before you were born anyway. But maybe we need to go back to that and grant people a license to wholesale sugar. I'm just suggesting this. Secondly, the income tax department, or the tax department, have to do their job. You can visit, we have the names, you can visit these establishments to see where they have sold their sugar and if they have paid their taxes. As a matter of fact, maybe FIU should get involved. But it must be clear that these people who do not seem to be selling sugar on the market are selling it somewhere else, right? And so, cabinet is abreast, is informed of all the people. They know who the people are.
That story brings us to the end of this Friday morning newscast. Remember that on Creme FM, there's more news at 10 a.m. during the morning stew, a news package at 12:30, a news brief at 3, and a full news package this evening at 5:15 p.m. Here on XTV, we will have a full news package for you at 6 p.m. It is 6:50 a.m. here in studios. We will take a short break now, but stay with us because when we get back, we jump into this Friday morning edition of Creme FM and XTV's WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
Atlantic Bank is an institution with more than 50 years of experience in partnership with Belizeans. We have been lending to all industries. We have been investing in the growth and development of Belize. We are proud to introduce Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program, the perfect solution to grow and enhance your small business. Let Atlantic Bank be your partner in making your small business dreams come true. Call us or visit any of our branches countrywide today to find out more about Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program. We will talk you through your options and find the best financial fit for you and your business. Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
All right, welcome back. It's Friday, and yes, again, as has been the case so many times this year, I am by myself. So, if you are able to, and if you want to, if you'd so choose, the number for you to participate in this Friday morning conversation is 2805848. Again, that number is 2805848. But I know depend on that kind. No, better than for depend on that. So, my name is Numi Usher. It's a pleasure to be here on this Friday morning. I just have to share a little anecdote, right? And I know that sometimes people might say, oh, you're always the rail up, you're always the complain. And I would just like to remind you, I am a whole black woman in a post-colonial space. I have everything to complain about. I have every right, that's my right. I deserve that because life is not easy for us. You know, there's no provisions, not in policy, not in the laws of this country, not in this region, that just like vibes, right? You depend on your own, sometimes even in your own family. But recently, we gone upon this Lee trip, and I had a horrible, horrible experience at the Sheraton Gateway. Now, the Marriott is like the big, what do I call it, mother company of all these little hotels that are in front of the airport, right, in Los Angeles. So, I gone there, they already had my reservations. Then people left me in a dot lobby for 2 hours. Mind you, we do a morning show. So after 2 hours of just sitting there in that lobby trying to, I don't know if they wanted to put me out on the streets or whatever, I mean, I have to come and do the morning show, right, via Zoom. But anyways, the whole, how did I say, kerfuffle happened because even though I have a credit card, because my mom put me on her account, I could not remember the PIN number because I only use that card when I'm away and I have to travel, because even when you hit the Philip Golson International Airport, they don't take cash. Even if you're paying for a check bag, you have to pay with a credit card. And that problem will continue from the Philip Golson Airport to whichever other airport you're gonna go. And as you go, damn people want and need and require credit cards. So anyways, can't remember the PIN number. I'm very busy, as I said, because I do a mentorship, plus I do this and I do some other stuff. And so I was looking for the piece of paper with the PIN number because I don't remember it. I only used it maybe 2 times and I only need the PIN once. So anyways, couldn't find the PIN number. Then people left me in that cold lobby. At least they had Wi-Fi, I guess, a mercy. Let's consider that a mercy. So anyways, I had on this little black Patagonia windbreaker jacket that I always have when I travel because, you know, a bit cold in the plane, or sometimes I found Los Angeles to be kind of chilly. And so in the pocket of that jacket, I have like what's only headphones when I get from a Delta flight from when I'm going to Amsterdam. Whole time my mind would tell me, you know, I should probably check this jacket pocket, never check the jacket pocket. So anyways, the long story that I said is, last night I said, make I satiate my curiosity and make I open up this jacket pocket and see whether in this headphone, the sachet or like whatever. Not the paper with the PIN number, y'all. And I said, man, that LA trip is so painful. You know, staying in that, being left in that lobby because I can't remember a PIN number and nobody can assist me for 2 hours, and then sleeping for 2 hours and then doing one morning show was insane. And the whole while I had on that jacket, and in that jacket pocket was the PIN number on the paper. So the moral of that story is I guess, after I thought about it last night, is that you always have to look within. All the answers that you need are inside you. And so you always have to just be calm, be patient, and look within. That's the whole long thing for say that, because I just could not believe that that chaos of last week could have all been avoided if I had only just opened up the pocket. But anyways, that's a mildly personal thing. What I noticed as I was looking at the news in Venezuela, and this is quite unfortunate because I wasn't even aware of that. But apparently all 5 of their glaciers have melted. I just want to remind you, Venezuela is not that far from Belize, as in to say it's South America, we're Central America. And the reason why the glaciers have melted is because there is extreme heat waves all over the world, right? We have been talking about global warming to exhaustion, but we need to understand that there are very severe consequences to global warming. So when, well, now a warning too. So when all the glaciers in Venezuela have melted, so when the ice goes, there are severe consequences to the earth for that. We have also seen that because of the heat that we have been experiencing here, the waters are very warm, and when the waters are warm, we have to be careful for the development of systems, right? And so, and just to kind of tell you about how warm the waters are. A couple weeks ago, I was at this grocery store, department store downtown, and I ran into a friend I hadn't seen for many years who is a guide. And so I was just, telling him, man, it's really hot, excessive, da-da-da. And he says, yeah, it's even hot in the water. Like when we dive, you have to go really deep for it to be cooler, right? As in to say, you're in the water and you still feel hot in the water. The waters are extremely warm, and that causes coral bleaching. And we've had conversations about coral bleaching and what would be the impacts of that. So I would just like to remind that we really need to press on our leaders that listen. We need to take the climate crisis seriously. We need to develop an energy plan, because I don't know about y'all, but to me, not hearing what the plan is very concerning to me. The reason why there's a bigger demand on energy, especially in this region, because mind you, the people that are the biggest perpetrators of the people who are the biggest perpetrators of climate change or climate crisis are not the ones who experience the consequences, right? The consequences are felt predominantly in certain regions, for example, the global south like us. So we purchase from Mexico, they need power because they're hotter. We need power from there, so things to consider. But we do have a call. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning. Am I being heard? Hello?
You're on the air, as I've said. Please, go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Who's not hearing?
Oh, okay. Now, I'm asking, are you hearing me now?
Sir, you're on the air. Everybody is listening to you on the radio and watching you on TV or streaming you on any of the apps, so go right ahead.
Okay, well, thank you. Let me put on my best smiling. But I called because, well, the first thing, I knew to go off immediately because you recognize my voice. I am.
I did not recognize. Well, wonderful. Good morning, G. Michael Reed. You always assume that because I'm a woman, I will go off. Speaks to your misogyny.
Women's thing, huh? You're so centric on these issues. and in your position, I think you'll do us more a favor by just going off on other things sometimes. The thing that you brought up initially about you in a dark room has nothing to do with what happened there. You lost the PIN number. You need to sometimes just stand up and say, what kind of my bag, That was your bag. But you're making it seem as if they're victimizing you by putting you in a dark room. No, you lost the PIN number. Anyway, onward with that. I wanted to remind people that the situation over there in the Middle East is still grim. And Belize was upfront on this, one of the first nations, and to her credit, I'm so proud of our little Belize for doing that, taking a stand and saying, you know what, we believe that you Israelis, what you're doing there is right. Now the genocide has continued, 30,000 people dead, mostly women and children. I think the world cannot remain silent. I am hoping that Belize will start, join the world every Saturday. There are massive demonstrations. massive protest, trying to get these people to stop killing these children. Now, I don't know if you heard the political debate last night between Trump and Biden.
No, y'all, I was busy complaining about me losing a PIN number, but please enlighten me and enlighten everybody else.
Oh, okay, you have a sharp tongue. But that doesn't matter because I have an armor. Listen, the situation is that Donald Trump in his address suggested that he don't want to let Israel go and finish the job. We know that as is, they're being supplied with arms to the tune of billions of dollars, which is sad. People, we need to understand that this is going to affect us eventually. They have been murmuring about nuclear weapons, and please God, I hope we don't get to that point because everybody will suffer. See if they're willing to destroy the world, as Bob Marley would say, to protect their own little agendas and whatnot. We need to understand that we're all in this together, and all of us have to raise our voice. Big up beliefs, but the stand you're taking, we need to do more. We need to speak loudly. Young lady, have yourself a nice day. Me not got no issue to take up with you. Later.
Bye, Dad. Anyways, whatever that was. I'm glad he mentioned, because yes, for those who live under a rock or maybe have forgotten, or a lot of stuff that happened in your world and a lot of stuff that happened in the world in general. There was a presidential debate yesterday. I'm not surprised. Honestly, we witnessed, I can't say we had because we don't live there, but I always say that we cannot not to look at USA politics because it affects us, right? There are remittances, there's a Belizean diaspora, as we had the conversation yesterday, and there's also definitely the case of the aid that we get. There was the whole challenge, or what they call the US challenge, that we're trying to get this huge, I don't remember if it was a grant or a loan, and then Rick Scott, who's the governor of Florida, was like, no, because these people not dealing with investors. But I'm glad that that caller, even though he has completely lost the plot and feels like he needs to mansplain and scold me like it am a pa, explained that we need to understand that that presidential debate and further that presidential election is going to directly affect us. But to my point, when it comes to the Biden administration versus the Trump administration, honestly, the only difference I have seen is the war in the Palestine. Because I don't see very much difference as far as what were their takes on crime, on race, on gender, on education. The U.S. economy is in shambles, right? Global economies are in shambles. It's not unique to them. As in to say, even though we have and are still contending with a global pandemic, people still not understand that capitalism is not going to serve no one, right? Capitalism serves the very small 1%, and even then take a lick. Not that I care, but even then take a lick during the pandemic. So we see that capitalism has failed, and yet still you had that not so smooth transition as we saw what happened in the Capitol 6th of January 2021 from the Trump administration to the Biden administration. But I don't know if there were very many differences. There's a lot of conservatism, a lot of discussions on critical race theory, and we know if we have that in schools. And to me, what I saw, of course, abortion was one of the big topics yesterday. My opinion, when the Biden administration started, pretty much a continuation of the Trump administration, except with now this war in the Palestine. Now, as we have all seen, as we all know, Israel is the U.S. proxy in the Middle East, right? In fact, I saw this reel last night that shows the new Israel, and Israel, the proposed new Israel, not only includes the Palestine, but also Syria, also parts of Jordan. And basically, if you make you have an understanding of what they are considering for the new Israel, is that it would start in the Nile in Egypt and go all the way up to the Euphrates in Iraq. I hope I know to get my countries mixed up. But we need to be very aware that whether the Biden or Trump comes back, very interestingly, you know, the Republicans have not seen such favorable numbers in the African American community for 6 decades. So it's not been 60 years since the Republican Party has had that much African American support. But also too, when you listen to how Joe Biden discusses black people and other minorities, he seems very much entitled to the black vote. They're like, oh, well, una vote for me because we don't have a choice. So then are all things to consider. Right now, as we speak, in fact, on Juneteenth, so the 19th of June 2024, the troops, the Kenyan-led invasion of Haiti, went to Haiti. Now, understand that people, they lose their homes, people, you know, they face foreclosure, rent has not been ever, you know, rent continues to rise and skyrocket in several cities and states all over the United States. Many jobs are being threatened by AI. For example, there's this food chain called Rallies, where they are now using, I think Rallies and Checkers or whatever. But if you're familiar with the food chain, or you could Google it, they are now using AI at the drive-through. So a lot of the entry-level jobs are being taken over by AI, and so people were further in a mess. So as the US is experiencing these economic crises, they are spending and finding money for war, as the caller said, because you try to pick sense out of nonsense there. They are finding money to fund Israel, send weapons to Israel, but also, as we have seen, they have funded Kenya. Those boots are on the ground in Haiti. Right now, because of a tax reform that is happening in Kenya, the Kenyans in Nairobi and surrounds are protesting their government and their president. But, as again, because when it comes to capitalism and the almighty dollar and US special interests, I guess he not concern himself too much with those protests in Nairobi. He has sent troops to Haiti, and as we know, because we had our troops being trained by the Canadian government, it's called Operation Helios. I've said once, I've said again, the Canadian government has a website where they explain very explicitly that Operation Helios is a training program for, and they mention the countries, Bahamas, Jamaica, and Belize. They're training military personnel so that they can go to Haiti and be a part of the MSS, or the multi-sectorial security. Now, this is from the UN Security Council. So their response to what they're calling chaos and crisis in Haiti is that you send these foreign military agents to go into this country and establish and put in order. Now, I don't know where the United States of America gets all the money to do all of this. But I do know, unlike us, they have the ability to print money. So money can be done. As soon as things seem shaky, they are able to go into the US Mint and print money. So I need enough to watch and be very mindful of how money is being spent. We have our own money crisis right at the Belize, right? We have the case with Gabriel and Zabane, who have successfully, in their appeal, got the government of Belize, more specifically the Ministry of Natural Resources, will have to pay them millions of dollars because they weren't able, to their point, to establish their seafront property. We have this next case that we just read in the news when it comes to the Antonio Novello, and he is saying that he purchased this land from the Belize City Council in our much previous administration. At the time, the late Mr. Fonseca was the mayor. As you've noticed, we've had Mayor Zenaida Moya, Mayor Darrell Bradley, and now we're at Mayor Bernard Wagner. And so that was not settled. The gentleman is saying, listen, I want my money at a certain time. What that have to do with the United States? Well, as you know, I remember it now, the Millennium Challenge. Belize, as many other countries in this region, we go to international lending institutions all over the world. even where we don't qualify. Like, for example, just a couple months ago, there was a small island state grant program. Last I checked, I know good for many things, but I understand geography, and Belize is not a small island state. Belize is a whole country that is not an island, right? So a non-island state, but somehow we gone and begged and got included in that group of small island state to qualify, I guess, for that grant program. We have inflation ever higher. As I've said yesterday, it is unfortunate, but the things that are suffering the most, or the services that are suffering the most when it comes to inflation, the food, how people eat, what they're able to eat, and what kind of food. Simple thing like the bread raised from 180, 175 to 210, and we couldn't keep that in check. I don't know what is the situation now, but the last I checked, people still may charge people about 15 cents more per pack, or 16-ounce bread, whatever. So we need to be very mindful of how leadership is moving, what then it prioritizes, especially when it comes to spending, because as I've said, we are experiencing, as we speak, global economic crisis in a different regions, and that the fair majority of factors. There was the global, there was a financial crisis which was exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. There is this insistence by many that we are continuing with capitalism, even though we are seeing that capitalism does not work. It was threatened during the pandemic, it's still being threatened, and we still hold on to capitalism even though we see that it does not work. Capitalism requires mass amounts of impoverished people so that a very small group of, make I find a nice and soft word, a very small group of privileged persons can hoard all the resources. So we have this debate yesterday. They had some very big topics, one of them being the war, well, the two wars, because if you notice, the people when they got money, then they're in two wars. There's the war that they have in the Ukraine, and there's also the war in the Palestine. And those things, I think we need to understand that they won't affect us. They are already affecting us. Remember, we are now a producing country. We are an importing country, as in to say we are still importing almost everything that we consume, whether the electronics, food items, technology, vehicles, shucks, even careers, right? We're still importing judges, we're importing professionals, we have these consultants that come in. So we need to be very mindful of what happens in these different elections. We need, and that's why I mentioned with the glaciers that have melted, the world is getting warmer and warmer as we speak. And so we need to develop, if we don't have one, the government of Belize, BEL, Public Utilities Commission, we need to sit down and finally and once and for all develop an energy plan. Now a plan where I get set into place when I decide to build one farm in 2025 with money we want to borrow from the Saudis to have a solar farm. That is insufficient, that now work. We need an energy plan now. In the event, and it will have to happen because as I've said and I've showed, and you could Google all of this because all of this is widely available. The world hotter, and so people energy needs will increase. So more people want to use AC, more people want to use fan, more people want to use all the amenities. We have more instances where you have longer periods of no rain as we experience. So we need to plan. We can't just be like, okay, we are continue to get from Mexico, because if this new president, when she's installed later this year in October, if she decides I need to prioritize my country over the needs of others, then I'm sorry, but what are the plan? Then we have to scamper and figure out, oh, okay, well, Numi don't promise we will now continue to sell with energy. Belize needs to develop an energy plan that is independent of purchasing energy from a different nation state. It needs to have an energy plan where we're kicking in before we start to develop a solar farm in 2025. So what we need for do, and this is what people need for do globally, you need to press on your leadership that they have to serve you and they have to lead in a very responsible way. I don't know a US citizen, but I don't understand with the healthcare crisis, because we had our own and we're still experiencing from the pandemic how that put excessive pressure on our medical infrastructure, our facilities, and even our medical health professionals. That happened in the US as well. So I don't know and I don't understand, even not being a US citizen, how the priority will be wars in the Ukraine, in the Palestine, and also now this little invasion mission that they're doing in Haiti, when right there a yard, people that lose their homes, people that can't afford rent, people that lose their entry-level jobs because they're being replaced by AI. So, and the thing is, even if we never had such a large diaspora that lives in the United States, so it will affect us immediately who will become the next president. Then things will impact we, because we borrow a lot of money from institutions that come out of the US. So I don't know if y'all watched it. I watched just snippets because honestly, I think the time for Trump and Biden both just chill with the grandkids and sip lemonade on the porch and give that to somebody else to do. I don't think that neither the 4 years of Donald Trump's administration, nor as we're witnessing the 4 years of the Biden administration, have been things that have developed the United States and developed the quality of life for US citizens. Our next thing what I want briefly get into, because it's something that I've been seeing for years, and I've even heard with close friends of some of my relatives that live in the States, and even some relatives that live in the States. This thing that when they have, like yesterday they had the presidential debate, but sometimes with election results or other things, or when people just disgruntled with how things are governing at these first world countries or the global north. Why is the response is, and I saw this tweet on Twitter yesterday, was said, well anyways, this debate not look good, but Costa Rica, Belize, and I mentioned some next, I think maybe St. Lucia, they look very good at this point. Listen to me. What you need to do is sort out your problem the yard. I don't understand why the response is, ooh, let me just flee to another country because I'm not happy with how I am governed. And then when you come here, you will end up the displaced Belizean citizens, but you understand, you're not happy with your politics, so you will just decide you will move somewhere else. And we have, like the discussion we had yesterday, we have so many people that are foreigners with own property in Belize, right? And that has made renting properties, owning properties, purchasing land, that has made a lot of that even impossible for the average Belizean citizen. So I had to beg and plead, because they even have Caribbean Americans with talk like that. Just figure out how you could sort it out there, because when coming here in mass will change things for us. You know, it will affect the quality of life what people could have. And I just don't understand that kind of mentality. Well, if Trump come back, then I just go and move to Belize, and live here. And I guess inflation might not affect you as much, because when we the ballpark, okay, well, the sugar that this much, the grapefruit that this much, and powdered, well, they probably don't even use powdered milk or whatever that this much. Your currency is double ours, so I feel affected how we are affected by it. And also I find that Belizean policies are very favorable to foreigners more than they are to Belizean citizens. And I guess this is some of the conversations that I was hearing as we were listening to the business forum at the Belize Diaspora Summit. I think I always assumed what it could sound like or look like, but I'd never before seen and gotten the opportunity to see how a white US citizen sells Belize to potential investors. And basically it was gross, it was, imagine that like then just commodify the spot, chop up Belize into pieces. Oh, this is San Pedro, that's the Placencia, this is the Riga, this are the numbers. I crunched there. I've been involved in Belize since the early 90s, and I'd never seen that before. So, you know, when we not pressure our leaders, then we leave spaces to make other people decide what will be our reality, how much things will cost, what will be the taxes, what will be the fees. If you're able to purchase a home or rent a home, what will be the cost of that? So I beg you, please put pressure on your representatives. There's a huge by-election that is going to happen in Toledo East, you know, and maybe you're not living at Toledo East, so you might say, well, that doesn't affect me. Well, yes, it does, right? Because even though we're a very Belize City focused country, and even the media is very much Belize City focused, the GDP comes from your rural areas. So who have become leaders in a different areas will directly impact you, affect you, you know, affect your quality of life. So then are things that we need to look into, and then are things that we need to pay very keen and close attention. So yeah, they're not just the things that I was seeing in the news yesterday. As far as I understand this mission, you know, I know and it would be nice if he could call and give us some clarity, but our Minister of National Security has said that as far as Belize, we only take the Operation Helios for training. He said that them accepting that training from the Canadian government is not saying that they will go to Haiti, but we need some information on that. You know, they've not told us what will be the plan, when they're going. The way it looked to me, the way how the website explained the Operation Helios, you take the training in Jamaica and then you go to Haiti. If that's not the case, then I think he should come back to the media and say so and let us know what is the case. We want to go on the training if we don't have a plan to go to Haiti. And I think that even though they've not yet gone, and maybe that's already set in plan, as Belizean people, we need to be very keen and careful when we just go to another people's nation state and dictate to them how they want to live. Remember, you know, we have a referendum with Guatemala. I don't know how another feel if Guatemala asks Israel, who is one of their homies, or asks the United States, who is their other homie. Well, you know, Belize in a chaos, just send some troops and maintain order in this country. And I think we should participate in things like that, even if we never had a referendum with Guatemala, right? But I think we have 2 cents calm. I'm assuming if we do, I need to thank Fort Point Security for sponsoring our 2 cents calm. We really, truly appreciate the support. So we'll have 2 cents calm. We'll have a break, but stay with us because I will be right back.
You're watching WB and this is XTV, and you know each and every Friday, this is when the Belize and then get a break for get a big up. So here what they want now. Somebody come, make we big the people them up.
Oh, I don't big up nobody.
Big up Friday, Miss you want big up?
Nobody.
Go there.
Big up my ex.
Big up Friday, who you want big up?
I big up my family, big up my friends, big up all my loved ones, far down south, Belize City, all my co-workers, big up everybody, big up on yourself.
All right.
Big up my family, big up my loved ones, everybody. Talk to a thing, yeah. Big up my brother, over there, everybody.
All right, shit.
Big up, peace, yeah.
That you big up?
Yeah.
All right.
Sonia Jones,
yeah.
Big up yourself, man.
All right. Big up Friday, who you want big up?
I want to big up my 2 kids at home, Jamar and Lenaya. They did a great job on their, Jamar graduated from Fort Farm, and Lenaya did a great job in Infant 1. Big up.
All right.
Big up the whole of Belize, respect, come down to the terminal deck.
Big up Friday, my friend. Big up who you want big up. Anybody?
Big up the Friday evening, big up that and the whole crew for Race Court Street, alongside Anthony, don't know, remix up back again.
Yeah.
Go place your order. Kana Alberts are race course, enough respect. Also big up myself, Red Bones.
All right.
Brothers Abet is celebrating Super Handy Dads for the entire month of June with super handy deals that just can't be beaten. Give that super handy dad the perfect gift from our super selection like 15% off all power tools and hand tools store-wide, 15% off track car batteries, 20% off Eureka Vats, 20% off Decon Matte Emulsion, and 25% off Valspar and Dutch Boy paints. Plus, for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win $500 worth of tools for 3 super special dads. So give dad his best Father's Day gift yet from Brothers Abet. Come in or reach out to us today. Brothers Abet wishes all super handy dads a super happy Father's Day.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
Atlantic Bank is an institution with more than 50 years of experience in partnership with Belizeans. We have been lending to all industries. We have been investing in the growth and development of Belize. We are proud to introduce Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program. The perfect solution to grow and enhance your small business. Let Atlantic Bank be your partner in making your small business dreams come true. Call us or visit any of our branches countrywide today to find out more about Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program. We will talk you through your options and find the best financial fit for you and your business. Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MSME Roadshow.
back, and I'm very afraid to give that number because if not just call me and scold me and chastise me. I was trying to share a positive of, you take difficult things that happen to you in your life and try to find how you could get a lesson out of it, but it turned into that guy trying to just be mean and cruel, and as he has always been to me in the few years that I've known him. But anyways, that number is 280-5848. My name is Katie Numi Usher. Please be nice. I'm here this morning hosting by myself. We have no guests. So your participation will be welcome if you're planning to come and play nice. Reminder that you can follow us on all the social media apps, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and you can comment, like, share. That helps our engagement. You can also stream. That helps our engagement as well. Remember, the more you engage with the platforms, the more they come up on your feed. That's how algorithms work. So it's very important for you and for us to have your interaction. We also have our app, our very own XTV app, which if you use iOS or any Apple device, it has a donation button that you should utilize to assist us to do all the fine work that we do back here. If you don't have an Apple device, if you're an Android user, you can always reach out and see how you can support the work that happens back at Zinc. So the Amandala is available wherever you get your Amandala. The Friday paper is out, hot off the press. Hot off the press. It's also cool to see, if you've ever been here, I took a printing class in Mexico, so I'm very interested in printmaking. But it's very cool to go in the print room here and actually see the press, like see how the paper is made. But very interesting stories in the Amandala, one that I have been following for some years. So apparently, finally, the former president of Honduras, JOH, I always forget his full name, but Mr. Hernandez has been found guilty of drug trafficking and using his military and police force to accommodate and facilitate drug trafficking. Apparently, as per the article that is in this Friday's paper, that's not happened since Noriega in 1992. So very interestingly, if you remember, he was arrested in 2022 and then extradited to the States in April of 2022. So, and this is what I mean when it comes to, demanding better from your leadership. I think this is an interesting time where, for example, I mentioned about Kenya, and I just read this article on Reuters about the protests, because the reason why they were protesting in Nairobi, to give that some context, is that the president was recommending tax increases, right? He was recommending tax hikes, and so the people of Kenya said, well, we don't want that. And what was very cool about the article in Reuters about what's happening in Kenya is that Kenya, post-colonial country, former British colony, like Belize and like any other colony in the world, they have very strong ethnic divides. And so a lot of times what leadership has been able to do is, in true colonial form, just pick your ethnicity of choice and deal with it and forget the rest. But what was interesting about the recent protests, and they actually got him to abandon those tax increases, is that you had people from all different ethnic groups, even ethnic groups that don't get along, joining forces and demanding that the tax hike that was being proposed by the Kenyan president was not tabled. What was also interesting about what's happening in Kenya, according to the article, is that generally it's based on what they're saying, it's the elite that do the protests and so then just divvy up the resources when they're done. Again, that wasn't what happened recently in Nairobi, where you saw people from all walks of life and different ethnic groups. So basically all that to say that the change what we want is very, very possible. I think the world is ripe for things like this to happen. We have seen where, a lot of people criticize social media. I don't criticize social media. In fact, I feel like without social media, I won't even have an art career at all in Belize, because we have seen how people talk to me when they call into the show, and that to me mirrors how I am treated in the Belizean art contemporary space, where we don't make provision for Black women, we don't support them, we don't even see them, and we don't include them. So I get a lot from social media. There's a lot of information on there. I learn a lot of news because, as again, a lot of things fall out of the media cycle. I think that even here in Belize, there are certain things where unless you go looking for that information, you know I find it, because it doesn't make it onto the media cycles. So you have to go and be very vigilant and get that information. And that's what social media does for me. Were it not for social media, I would not even know what's happening in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in the Sudan, in the Tigray, which is between or in that area near Eritrea and Ethiopia. I wouldn't know any of that, because many of the stories of what's happening in Congo, in Haiti, in the Sudan, in Tigray, then in a catch news, right? You know, I sit in global news, and while I am grateful that they do share information about what happens in the Palestine, I think it's equally important to show that there are genocides happening consecutively, as in to say what's happening in the Palestine is abhorrent and it should have never happened and it should stop. And the only solution I feel over there is ceasefire, not even a pause, just complete cessation of what's happening. But we also need to know what's happening in the Congo. We also need to know what's happening in the Sudan. We also need to know what's happening in Tigray and Haiti, and to see where all these things are connected. And when you go and you look and see who's behind a lot of these things have the hand of empire, right? Whether that's the United Kingdom, United States, Israel, et al. So we need to be very watchful. We need to make sure that even the news that we consume, like I said, that's why I never criticize social media, because you could use it for whatever. I mean, I use it for just like, I guess people would have called that mindless reels or TikToks, where I just watch like a ton of videos on, you know, different nail designs or makeup, whatever. And then they're relaxing to me and I learn from that. That's very useful to me. But also too, that's where I get a lot of news on the region. That's where I get a lot of news from around the world. So definitely, like I said, go and get your Amandala. We do have a call though, so caller, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you, X?
Looks like nobody know want to talk to you except to cuss you out.
Yeah, that's how you go.
When I tell you something, kid, I don't want to hold you up long, right? But we, at least me personally, my mom, we that baby, emphasize that we come from Black women. Black woman Elizabeth Kingston, and they married one Spanish man, Jose Escapita, that City River. That must say around 1830, 1840, you know.
Wow.
So, you know that when I grow up, everybody they try to dodge them black granny, the man they put them in an attic. You know, you can't. That was a long story, but we dig into a black and we want to uplift. We white, but we white done uplifted already. So we back there, Pampa Church. We really big up Black woman, and we big you up, Katie Numi. Don't feel for nothing. Yeah.
Give thanks for you. I appreciate you. I want to read you from the publisher. Very, you know, I know you don't like when I tell her, because, you know, they're a very humble person, but honestly for me, and I know they said it's because I work, yeah. I just said it's because this is my actual reality, right? So Many years ago, when my grandparents were still alive, they used to live right nearby Oleander Street. And for my grandparents, you know, they are Garifuna people. It was very important for them that I read. So from I legal, and I can remember for when the paper me too big for hold, and after to hold it, you know, as best as I could to when I could have actually hold it with my 2 hands with ease. I've been reading the Amandala, and I kid you not, the majority of the information that I have learned about myself, and when I say myself, what Caribbean person, what Central American person, but more specifically a Black Caribbean person, a Black Central American person, a Black person generally, is from the articles that Evan X. Hyde has has published over the years in the Amandala. And that's why I always say, you know, get your Amandala. It's very important. As marginalized people, that for we job to go and find what that information there. Go look for it, go seek it out. It's extremely important that you know where to go on, because your ignorance will be used to your detriment. When I say ignorance, I don't mean ignorant, you know, how we say it in a Creole, like, okay, to she ignorant ready for war. I had that too. I had that level of ignorant too. I mean ignorant as ignorant of a fact. And never be ashamed for not know something. There was a time in my life when I never know anything, and I am happy to say that I do not know everything. To me, that's now a space of true beauty, because I don't know everything, there is space for me to learn. And there was a beautiful TikTok I saw yesterday where the person was saying, you know, when it comes to learning history in the United States, that people who are non-US citizens should understand that there's a lot of propaganda that they're taught. So a lot of things within the land on TikTok or within the sip on TikTok for the very first time. And she was saying that, you know, approach them with grace and no shame or no violence. And I fully agree with that. But like many other commenters, what I thought was very important is to have her understand that the way how history is taught globally is propagandized, right? Because as I tell you, my understanding of being a Black person, that from reading the Mandala, and that's a real talk, because social studies where I get that school and history where I get that high school never tell me who I was. I remember the first time I hear about Blackness as a race, because remember, Black people are racialized as Black. As in to say race than even a real construct. It is a social construct. It is something that white European colonizers developed to subjugate, to colonize, to terrorize, and they continue to do it because it benefits them. But if you really think about it, they have one single human race and we're all the same. But socially, there is a construct and there is a hierarchy. But the first time I read about Blackness as a race in Belize, in a social studies, I just one little line that they had Black slaves who helped the Baymen. And I kid you not, that just like that I get it. And so for the longest time as a Black person, my only understanding of self was that one sentence, Black slaves who helped the Baymen fight off the Spanish. And that is extremely dangerous. And that's what I mean when I say your ignorance will be used to your detriment, because they use that against you. If you don't know who you, then people will tell you who you, and then you'll have to rely on what people say, right? And you don't have no sense of self, and so you don't want a rootless tree, so people could pick you up, put you at Sand Hill, put you at Biscayne, put you at Forest Home, scoop you up from there, put you at Sartaneja, scoop you up from there, as in to say you could be anything and you could be anyone except yourself. So it's very important you find out who you. Currently, because as you all know, I spend a lot of time on social media. There's a discussion that I find very, very full because, and this is all coming off of Juneteenth. There was a lot of pushback from African Americans that we don't understand the African American enslavement experience, the colonial experience, and the brutality of enslavement in the United States, specifically in the South. And when we talk about Juneteenth, we're specifically talking about Galveston, Texas, and understanding what was happening in Mexico, what was happening in Texas, and to know that even though there was the Declaration of Emancipation of Slavery, it would take very many months, or I think 2 years, before enslaved Africans in Texas found out that that act was in action, right? So people were, and of course, well, enslaver now and make it people know, listen, this is no longer the status quo. I no longer have the legal, because remember, you know, enslavement was legalized, and that's why I tell you, we have to be very mindful of where we allow this constitutional reform. Black people, indigenous Americans of Belize, you know, have a lot to be supposed to get out of that constitutional reform, because you are the people who have been brutalized. Maya people get a land take away, black people get displaced from where they come from, and then they get displaced right in and displaced here. So our constitution is supposed to atone for that and provide for we, and it doesn't at this time, and I don't have confidence in that set of commissioners that they will ensure that then things get rectified. But coming back to the conversation on Twitter, so out of that Juneteenth, the conversation was, well, no, no, understand. And that's why these diaspora conversations are extremely important. And I think sometimes we spend a lot of time to try to find how we're different than try to find out how we're same. Because when it comes to enslavement, anywhere it was, whether it was in the Americas, in the continent of Asia, the African continent, enslavement anywhere was brutal, cruel, unacceptable. So I find this practice of comparing which slavery is worse and which slavery is softer or whatever completely reductive and a waste of time. We shouldn't even waste time like that. They're like the same colonization comparisons, right? So they're like you buy something and then they say, okay, well, this is Spanish colonization versus French versus English versus Portuguese versus Belgian. At the end of the day, you left your spot, you subjugate people, you take their resources, and you continue to benefit from how you've exploited and extracted their resources. So I don't find any benefit in comparing those. But to that question that comes out of Juneteenth, a lot of the enslavement punishment practices and even the enslavement codes that were enacted in the United States of America were fashioned off of how enslavement was operating in the Caribbean, and more specifically Saint Domingue, or if you want to say Haiti and the República Dominicana. Because remember, when Christopher Columbus came to the West Indies, because alas, he assumed he was in India, he know him wrong, he don't want to admit that he wrong, so he just said, well, this are the West Indies, this are not the actual India, this are the West Indies. He came to that island, and based on what they decided to do there and the horrific things that they did on that island, killing out the Taino people, right? The other people see it, the French see it, the British see it. They were so impressed by it that they decided that they want to carry these enslavement codes to other parts of the world. So a lot of what happened in the United States is fashioned off of what happened originally in Haiti and the República Dominicana. So it's very important that we make the connections. It's very important that we understand that we are same, not different. Try to find the connections. Try to find, and I would have said, try to meet people with grace. I don't always do a good job at it, right? Because sometimes I don't have the capacity. Like when the brother this morning just come and decide he has scold me when I actually was admitting, yes, I never had my PIN number. That's my fault. I don't blame nobody. But whether I wrong, it was also wrong of the hotel for just left me in the lobby for 2 hours. You don't treat people like that. I thought the word was guest. Last time you don't treat your guests like that. So long thing for say, get your mandala. Make sure you read your from the publisher. Read that news article by Kristen Koo. Good morning, Kristen, about the president of Honduras. Notice that, you know, Honduras is so close to Belize. Be very keen on what happens with Nayib Bukele, because I see a lot of Belizeans say, oh, I just have to implement the Mano Dura And the Monodura is just these extreme, draconian, type of just arresting and throwing in our spot. Take time this weekend to read what Nayib Bukele has done and continues to do in El Salvador, and I guarantee you, you don't want that here. We don't want to smoke, none at all. But I am up for my next break, so we'll take that break. Stay with us. When we get back, we continue this Friday morning show.
St. Catherine has changed the game.
We've gone cashless with Digi Wallet.
Now grabbing a bite in the cafeteria is a whole new experience.
Who needs cash? We just pay with Digi Wallet.
And all our accounts are linked directly to our ID cards. It's quick, safe, and super easy.
Download and try Digi Wallet today.
Set trends. Keep it cashless with Digi Wallet.
Let us help you to empower your school with Digi Wallet. Streamline payments, elevate efficiency.
Power on with confidence. Design Depot brings you an attractive selection of GE appliances, including microwaves, washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, countertop appliances, and more. We understand the importance of appliances that not only endure, but also excel in performance. As your trusted GE USA authorized dealer, we stand for reliability and performance, ensuring that you can power on with confidence. Visit us today and power on with efficient, reliable, and energy-saving solutions with GE appliances from Design Depot.
Design Depot, all in one place.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Prescription. What are the best place we go?
Freetown Drugstore.
Bam City. When the drugstore then close up the night and on Sunday and holidays, which one open?
Freetown Drugstore.
Bam City. When you need somebody to talk to about your medication, who you are turn to?
Bam City. We have been serving the general public for more than 30 years with fast, professional, and efficient services. We will continue doing so with honesty, integrity, and consistency.
This is the loyal Freetown Drugstore crew, always happily serving the general public at 28 Freetown Road, Belize City. Telephone 223-2876.
Welcome back. It's 8:08. It is the 28th of June, 2024. Yep, 8:09 a.m. here in studios. My name is Katie Numi Usher. You are watching, listening, and or streaming XTV and Creme FM's WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. I know I am having a wonderful morning. I gave a little teeth chance yesterday to my laundry. Could I actually pin it out? Could I actually pick it in, fold it? So that for me is a good day when I get to do my laundry, pin it out, fold it, and pack them away. So I hope that you get your teeth chance when you could. Try figure out how you do that, because we are forecast to have a couple systems. Rain definitely, you know, like when you used to watch Sesame Street and the word of the day, the word at the weekend we look like, yeah, be rain, but we need rain too. I'm hoping that the roads will be able to sustain, right? Like the engineer said, that the roads are well built, so hopefully they will be able to sustain all the different weather. Because this morning, when I'm going to come down from Ladyville and when we get by the, I don't know, I guess the least spot kind of contentious, because what I was told by one of my very good history teachers, Lita Crone, is that that area there, like when you go, can't really describe it, but that, like, imagine between, say, when I have that car guys and rhymers, not that I do ads for any of them businesses, but just to try to tell them at least stretch upon the Philip Golson Highway. There used to be swamp where get fill, and that's how we have the road. And I don't know if that way the swamp, they continually reclaim the road, but to me, from what I'm seeing at the bus, the least stretch of road there, when you get closer to the BPO that's there on the highway, that have a lot of holes. So I don't know if the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, they look into that, because that a little bit of rain that has caused then luckily new, well, they're not potholes, but then look like they could develop into potholes from forming. Because definitely, as we are very much into the hurricane season, and we're seeing that we have these climate anomalies because we experience climate change, because of global warming, weather acts different, so we need their roads to be able to withstand and sustain whatever extreme weather we may or may not have. So if you are on the roads this weekend and today, please be careful. Not to overtake, take your time. You are still reach. Belize small, I think you have enough time to reach where you're going. So definitely make sure that you be safe on the road. Like I said, Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, that is stretch between that new development there. There's a roundabout when you're the roundabout closer to the BPO. There's a lot of holes. When you get to there's like a speed bump there, and just before you get to the speed bump, there are a lot of holes there. So I don't know if you're able to look into that. And definitely, I remember that when we had the representatives from the city council and they were here with SEMO, they had mentioned that if you know about any areas that need assistance with, whether it was clipping branches of trees and or removing different appliances or old vehicles, or so that you have near, they had said that that is something that the city council through SEMA is offering. I ran into one of my social studies teachers a couple weeks ago, and she was saying that area on Johnson Street and Vernon, it would be nice if they could, if the city council could clear that drain, because apparently, because the drain isn't clear when it rains, and remember that was a flood prone area behind on the Cemetery Road and in front of Vernon, then I really collect a lot of water, almost like a basin. So they were asking, well, she was saying it would be nice if somebody from city council or SEMO could have go there and ensure that that area there by Johnson Street and Johnson and Vernon. So just imagine Cemetery, Johnson and Vernon, if the drains could have been cleared so that the water not collect there, because apparently when it collects there and it not run off, then the water in the yard and other places just get high. So again, and I remind you, activate your plans, and I say hurricane plan, activate your emergency plan, as in to say if you have other things in your yard that you need to get rid of, now would be a good time. You know, rake your leaves, other branches. If you live in a Belize City or some of the other municipalities, I do believe that they have things like Seymour in Belize City. You have Seymour where you could call the city council specifically and ask them to assist with getting those things out of your yard. They're really just to have you prepared for whether we have heavy rains or other systems developing. You just need to have your yard ready. That's very important. Remember, it's better we deal with them before, and then closer to the time, everybody want help at the same time. So if somebody from City Council could have looked into that, Johnson, Vernon, and Cemetery Road, that would have been really good as well. I know that they used to call, I don't know if they're still calling, but wherever you have then like a yard space with, you know, the overgrown, just wild bush, we have a lot of that at Ladyville. Actually, I had quite some interesting walks yesterday and this morning, because what happened is that you have all this overgrown wooded areas where are just empty lots with a lot of high grass and, you know, big trees. So right now the mosquito, they're fully active. So now we stretch, because I walk 1 mile from my house to the highway, that like I become that buffet for the mosquito there. And I don't know, Vector Control and Ministry of Health and Wellness, I thank you for how you have been sending the trucks. But I don't think they're mosquito afraid for the whatever chemical in the spray, because basically when you call and that morning, not this morning, but yesterday, Thursday morning, when I made the spray, the mosquito literally just like made a float around in the spray. So I don't know if there's maybe we'll look into another chemical, because the chemical smell really strong, but the mosquitoes, they're fully active. This morning I, you know, at least 20 of them. But we do have a caller. Caller, you're on the air. But please take off your radio or TV.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to appeal to the council. Let them look on the Belcan Bridge for a while now, at least over 6 months. The Belcan Bridge stop. Anybody could walk upside of your bed, kind of push 119 there and just continue walking in business, and nobody knows why the Belcan Bridge is out of light. City Council, please, whosoever, do something about that. All the workers, they have to walk over the bridge. Some people left at night, like 7 o'clock after 7.
Right.
Total darkness. Thank you.
Thank you too, ma'am. No, you're absolutely right. Thanks for your call. Thanks for your contribution. So City Council, please, if you're able to fix that situation, pan the Belcan, because this young lady is very right. I'm not often in Belize City late or when the sun goes down, but the other day I was out there, and she is right. There are no lights on the Belcan Bridge, and it's extremely dark. We were trying to walk around and take some like night images actually of Belize City. And what struck me is that I never really realized that Belize City is so dark at night. So there are no lights on the overpass. So that overpass, whether the Dr. Manuel Esquivel overpass that connects, I guess you'd say, that's Sancas Plaza to Palote, like crossing that Philip Golson Highway. There are no lights there. I don't know if they have lights now. Very dim, but we do have another call. And then Belcan Dock, Bell China Dock, and the Swing Bridge Dock. Good morning, you're on the air.
Very good morning to these Belizeans.
Good morning.
Just want to further the conversation with the President of Salvador, Nayib Bukele, and encourage Belizeans to check out this online media source, El Faro means the lighthouse. I think, I don't know, a couple of years ago, it was formed 1998, 26 years ago. And our online media for news in Latin America. There are two brothers. Their names are Carlos and Oscar Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it when I made a host, I think Wednesday. There's an LA Times story, it's just one story, but when you go online, for the people who use online, in our story, then I have certain parts of the sentences or words or phrases where they're in a different color. And then if you click on that, it said another news source. This story is called, and this story was written
2022.
It was written in 2022, June 9th.
Right.
And the story is called As El Salvador's President Tries to Silence Free Press, Journalist Brothers Expose His Ties to Street Gangs. So the Sector Belizean people, important that we have evidence-based conversations.
Right.
I don't have the bandwidth to talk to people with just how I interpret this and just to talk because they could talk. I just hope that the communication that will increase your knowledge, bring clarity, give different interpretations, whatever the cover is about. So when each person makes decisions that or have a conversation or question somebody and could question everybody, that have a space of knowledge. Now, if you're not able to tell, and Katie, no matter a younger person than me and have more interest, skill set, different from me when it comes to the internet. And so, how Katie Numi presents or bring information, I would say complement the work what I do. So I get excited when I hear somebody like Katie Numi talk because she has a different mindset. It talks two languages, it masters in two languages. It's three, but I don't refer to English and Spanish specifically. And it talks to also, you could express yourself, we were Creole and first language go overstand. So, over and over again, when I hear Katie Numi, I will add more that would be work that I could consistent about learning more about Nayib Bukele, the president of Salvador. And one of the things I hear Katie Numi say consistently is that he got rulership because he broke the Constitution. The Constitution said you're power for so much years. He changed the Constitution. So, similar to what happened in IT, it's not a free and fair democratic process where the people voted for the leadership. It's an occupation of a country by those in power. And for people who not have no willingness to hear that, but not to make that up, that is the truth. So I don't know a lot about El Salvador history. So another thing, as Belizeans, and not even so much the younger Belizeans, I would say middle-aged, older Belizeans, have some familiarity because we saw immigrants coming from Central America in the 80s. We said they had a civil war.
Right.
We don't know what a civil war means. We don't know how the civil war impacted people. We don't know what kind of training that people had before they come. They come to Belize, they would have the second and third, maybe even fourth generation of Salvadorans. So, because we don't know them people pain, we don't know them people mindset, we just sit there as, I don't agree with the wording, but we would call it aliens at the time. The undocumented people, similar to how Belizeans go to other countries, specifically the United States, undocumented immigrants to try and make a living. That's all. Anyway, the point of this conversation, so that I have to say, it's an emergency. Now, one of the plays in Nayib Bukele's playbook. But we're going to hear from the people of Salvador what the truth of the reality. Well, a lot of we just go from what they find in the news. And when we say corporate news, now, the extremely wealthy people own a majority of the media houses around the world, and the news people and the read on script. So they can't go on script. So if we're not willing to accept that the CNN, the MSNBC, the NBC, Fox, all the major corporate media houses, what Belizeans they don't have consume for hours. And then they feel that they have knowledge about the subject to have a conversation. I choose not to have conversation with such people. And that's why at the time when Sunday Review had on Facebook page, and I sometimes wonder, is it worth the time and energy I invest? Who even to read this? Who even to get it? But trusting the process, they do it. I recommend, because most had asked for some recommendation, but if you only want to look for one, go to El Faro. It means the lighthouse. Now, there are two brothers, they're doing this our digital newspaper, one in 2000, one in 2007. And they and the team, because then they said like journalism never like really exist in El Salvador. Let's be clear that the funding for this online newspaper come from Open Society Foundation, the largest philanthropic organization in the world with root money from George Soros. I don't support George Soros.
Right.
I have seen and have benefited from Open Society Foundation funding. So I just put that out there because you always want to know who to provide money for anything, where the money to come from.
Right.
I always want to ask where the money to come from. Brother and the team discover the connection of both major political parties ties to the gang. And that then a make negotiation, keep down the homicide or get certain privileges. And the brother produced documentation of, under Bukele leadership, of when people high up in a Bukele administration got in a high security prison. They show the logbook. They show like images of the vehicles when they call the license plate number with the hand. The bottom line is they had hard evidence, undisputable, because initially both political parties were denied that they would negotiate with street figures.
Right.
But with the evidence that the brothers and the team produced, it was undeniable that under Bukele administration that they make these deals. And another part, they're not just for like, they have prostitutes, they have access to cell phones. One of the things that I point out is that initially Bukele said that they no longer want to segregate the gangs. So that's one of the things that concerned me with, for example, the state of emergency in Belize. I don't know if at Belize Central Prison they got gang members segregated. But anyways, Bukele and our Bukele administration, they said they want to stop segregate the gangs. They want to put them together. And sometimes they are seeing a prison images or films, the gang members they could see one another through the bars. That they want to lock off the bars and they can put them in one solid room and they want just to email with the rival. They made a push that hard. But in one of the negotiations, the gang members then push back on it. And so without coming to the public, they pull back on that they don't want to segregate the prisons anymore. Now, another big thing when they negotiate with the gang members is political support. Want to hold on the homicide, I want to make sure we get elected. And so there are two big things, the backstories. The administration, both of them, negotiation with gang members to hold on the crime, the homicide, and that they want to vote for them politically. Now, another thing that was a big thing where the brothers they find out, I just the land or that kind of thing, is that Bukele used to be an advertising executive, and people would say that genius when it comes to advertising.
Propaganda.
Media propaganda. Absolutely a genius. So keep that in mind. It got that far out. This article is said that it's a genius at self-marketing, and I think that the one skill where you get from Armando, who were born to Palestinian immigrants and then become one of Salvador wealthiest businessman, host television program, and sympathize with the leftist politics.
Right.
Anyways, one of the things that was very concerning, especially as journalists, because when we were there, the callers come a lot, and most of them support Bukele, and I would ask them, we want to know about Bukele. We want to get the information from, and I know most times there are people where, based on what it said to me, that just one singular narrative that they go on, and like Mo said, when people, loved ones, they get killed innocently most of the time, people want anything to stop it. Anything, anything. Even if it means giving up your human rights, your constitutional rights, people just want it stopped. So I want to understand again. One of the things where we concern the Martinez brothers is that one colleague played back to them one conversation where they know only them two in the room. How is it that somebody have a recording at that conversation? And the person that said to them, a colleague, that there was source within the Salvador government, when we play to them a phone call between the brothers, when then they discuss the investigation of the Bukele administration with gang members. No, they have the conversations on encrypted applications for Signal. So the only next thing they come to think is that one or two of their phone gets cracked and somebody listen to it. In January, forget me what year, the University of Toronto Citizen Lab and Digital Rights Group Access Now find that the brother Antoine at a online media, El Faro colleagues, as well as 15 journalists from other outlets, may under surveillance for more than 1 year with the spyware Pegasus. Israeli developer sell it exclusively to the government.
Right.
Spyware called, a lot of first time we hear about it. First, I'm concerned because Carlos said that they know the details of the relationship with the people that he love and it's spy for now for more than 269 days.
Right.
In the wake of that Pegasus scandal, human rights organization called for investigation and Reporters Without Borders upgrade El Salvador ranking in an annual press freedom index. I say that to say, if the Numi believes in what it listens. There's more to a story than just what we say on regular news. There's backstory. And when you hear the Commissioner of Police flippantly support the Bukele response to crime, or even the Prime Minister, it is extremely concerning and dangerous because clearly they don't have the knowledge, they don't do the research. At that level of power, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Police, the Commissioner of Police, there's no way you should be having such flippant conversation about the security of this country. And that's not even a fraction of where it happened. That's not even a fraction of what we talk about organized crime. So, Belizeans have to speak with their own eyes, and they make every effort for. My dream would be to have their two brothers as guests for Sunday Review. But
it will happen.
That's the process. But there are other people, other community groups, other human rights, other immigrant groups with credibility who have been doing the work of for people from the Civil War times that I have contact with, and I'm trying the best this Sunday to start off like tomorrow, Sunday, to see if I could get some other people on Sunday Review with the intention, always with the intention of Sunday Review, which are the only news review talk show in the country.
Right.
That will bring more knowledge, different interpretations about whatever story might make the news that believes, or not make mainstream news that believes, but impact Belizeans at home or in the diaspora. So the caution Belizeans. I mean, I have one close family member where I tell you my heart just broke. That person was strong Trump supporter. It's amazing to me how this person really sharp, brilliant, but for some reason when it comes to Trump, the common sense just get turned off and they can't hear nothing but that.
Right.
So I just said that there's some people who are like that. But for my own mental, spiritual, emotional health, now I learned, I have conversations with people when they appear at the time when I conversate with them, talk with them, to be reasonable. Meaning that they're able to maintain the emotional control, they're able to listen to you without cut you off. They know they're really 100% present when you're at task based on how they respond.
Right.
So if you hear and you look from body language, you listen to tone, all of that effective communication. I have not mastered it. I have a long ways at the work on it. So on good day, they will catch me on bad day that I just take the rest of the people that were at the talk about. So it said to me, meaningful conversation that will create changes. Engagement ignores that create change. Our part of that engagement, a meaningful conversation.
Right.
We never try to convince nobody and nothing. But listen to people and so willing to share and use common sense and do additional. Each person responsible for their own research, you know.
Of course.
You can't just listen to traditional media and think, I don't want clarity for one subject. Then I'm here to have a conversation with. Then I'm
right.
So I really want caution delusion. Even listening to news that believes. Media houses have interest, you know.
Oh, yes.
Media houses have alignment, you know.
Right.
I talk to me. I was staying at solidarity with Think Tank because I said no other media house. Different problems. You see what you call a different talent? Nah. You see in all other media houses, they are sitting out the world, but they Think Tank are proud and get their teeth cut. Think Tank are not for the weak heart. And if anybody could criticize things from the top down, I choose for that as it. I don't have for that as it. I don't make no bad money as it. Most of them make more money than me with that as it. And I'm not because I need money for live, because I need money for live.
Right.
But my life purpose is to continue the process of we African ancestors for the liberation of we people. I know people from different groups listen to this. I look at the work what I call for. That for working at the interest of African people racialized as black people. If I don't have integrity, I cannot maintain that work. As human as anybody else, I got dirty ways sometimes, I work on it, I know. I never claim for being no saint. But I said to people, African descendants racialized as black people specifically, we have a responsibility to liberate ourselves. We, individuals, collectively, as African heritage communities. And so that's why I always give thanks, even though I know it's very crazy when I say it, but I am bragging, and because they know our work, and they know the associates that upon community support, upon people support. If I never take at these people, they know me and they are another 5 minutes over, because break shall be there at 8:30. But thanks for listening, my sister, and I'd appreciate if you're not something to say after your break, because they're not a monologue. But I mean, I really take my time for set of people prior to some review, and have a responsibility to learn, think, reason, reflect, and then engage. Only the people are safe to people.
Thank you. No, I truly appreciate that. So on that, we will take this break, 8:37 a.m. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll get into those comments.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MSME Roadshow 2024. Join us for
are back for this, what is this, the fourth quarter of the WB on XTV and Chrome FM. Thanks for your patience this morning. My name is Numi Usher. It's a pleasure to be here with you. 8:42 a.m. here in studios, and we just had some wonderful comments from Yaya Marin Coleman, who, if you don't know, hosts the Creme Sunday Review. So I want to encourage you to watch that. Especially, she has been vigilant on updates on Haiti and what's happening in Haiti. As I said, from Juneteenth, we've had troops from Kenya in Haiti. That is the current U.S. occupation, which is Kenyan-led. So I want you to go back and see those episodes. She asked, not what that the purpose, but kind of like what that the purpose on them post. But as I said before, if it's somebody will get a lot out of social media, I don't know if she knows the value of what she shares on her Facebook page and on her show. But as she said, the Creme Sunday Review is the only news review show in Belize. I don't know that there are any other networks and or even podcasts, whether the major media houses or people who do smaller broadcasts or self-broadcasts that review the news. So it's very important that you watch it. We do have a caller though, so I'll come back to my comments after this caller. Caller, you're on the air. Please go ahead.
Morning.
Good morning.
I noticed that they are not about the constitutional reform. This month we forget the final report about it. You know, if it come out already?
Man, your guess is good as mine, brother, because they organized an appearance to be on the show and then never showed up. They just ghosted me. So I don't know. I don't know what's the situation with them. Like you, I'm very desirous to hear back from the People's Constitution Commission. Remember, if you're going to do constitutional reform, you need to check in with us. You said it was a democratic process. You said you were going to share what the commissioners have come up with. They're not all things that they said. They're not the things that I said. They're not, I just repeat back or parrot what they have said. And like you, I would like to hear back.
Yeah. Next thing, Biden display mental weakness last night.
Right.
Like a lot or something like that. I think they should. I think the party should get together and consult with her and try to find a replacement, no?
Man, I agree to fully. I was very scared though when I saw, because my mother was looking at the different media outlets, not the different U.S. media outlets, and I said one of them they talked to the Democratic governor from California, Gavin Newsom, and I hope, like you, I do believe that the Democratic Party should look into another candidate, but I hope for their response or for their selection is not Gavin Newsom, because he's a disaster in California. But I agree with you. They need somebody else. Definitely need somebody else.
Yeah, for the good of the country and the good of the world, because you can't have somebody with mental weakness, they control nuclear weapons that could end the world.
Right. Man, I thank you for that information.
Yeah, and the next thing I want to mention
Go ahead.
the greatest enemy of we have most of the countries in the world right now, they suffer from fake democracy. We don't really have true democracy. They put something power and then they say, yeah, this is a democracy, but they not really want democracy.
That's true. That's true.
And the greatest enemy of democracy is uncontrolled, unlimited, and undisclosed financing. The playing field no level.
None at all.
Each party should adapt to a certain amount of money, no? I suggest that the three largest parties should be financed exclusively by government. Other parties' finances must not exceed that of government financed parties.
Okay. I hear you.
Yeah, that way then we could increase the democracy, no?
Right,
because
right.
if your party they get 50 million to campaign and my party only get 5 million to campaign, what kind of democracy is that?
Right. And as you saw yesterday with that presidential debate, that our issue too that plagues both the Republican and Democratic Party is that their funders are the ones that will determine what kind of policies they could enact. And as you said, because there is this, and I can't remember her name right now, but I saw her on social media. There is an African American woman who is running for president independently. She's not one of the major political parties, but like you say, how do you compete with a Republican or a Democratic Party where they have like super PACs, right? Where you have these massive donors and funders who just, you know, they invest millions of dollars into these parties, so they're able to do a lot more. I fully agree too. Right, you too. Thanks so much for your contribution. Back to Yaya's point, I just want to understand that Nayib Bukele is a Palestinian Salvadoran, right? His family had to flee the Palestine because of the Nakba. The Nakba is like one of the major tragedies of Palestinian history, where Palestinians were forced into the diaspora by violence. Very similar to what is happening right now in the Palestine again. But Nayib Bukele, even though he is a Palestinian Salvadoran, he is endorsed and supported by the government of Israel. Now, as I've said before, and these are all things that I've shared, and there is a journalist who is, I want to get him connected with Yaya because he's a fabulous journalist. He is diasporan, but he's very connected to what happens in El Salvador, and it's thanks to what he shares that I get a lot of information. But Nayib Bukele is very much invested in the Israel plan, even though, and there has been research that the civil wars of the 80s in El Salvador, which forced many Salvadorans into a Salvadoran diaspora by violence, very similar to the Nakba in the Palestine, was Israel. So that's very strange to me. Testing with napalm, all of these things that were done in the 80s in El Salvador. So we need to be very careful. Nayib Bukele has also too, for those who follow him, because he is, and I'm glad that Yaya mentioned his prowess when it comes to propaganda and marketing. He is very active on Twitter, and he has also been talking a lot about what his solutions, plans, or suggestions would be with Haiti. So I just, that a reason, sometimes one might say, oh, why she mentioned this and that, it all connected and it all come back. And we need to watch when we have leaders who say, oh, well, we will implement some of these things because it seems like these things work. Now, Nayib Bukele also, and that's why I was very shocked when I saw the Forex Bros at the the Investment Forum at the Diaspora Summit. He famously changed their national currency from the US dollar to Bitcoin, knowing full well that that would disenfranchise a wide amount of Salvadorans who don't have access to internet, who might not have that internet or the 5G ready device and other things that are needed for people to trade with digital money. So a lot of times things look good cross there, but we really need to be careful. I would love if Yaya could get connected with this journalist because he shares a lot of the information. And I just want to remind Belizean people that a lot of things that come out of El Salvador look good because Nayib Bukele sends packaged news out of El Salvador. So obviously, and I do this a lot as well, as a visual artist, if I did talk about my art, obviously I will say the best things, right? It might not be truthful, but it is flattering to me. It puts me in a positive light. But that doesn't mean to talk about my art. That's me trying to, I guess, to market myself. As a leader, and when you deal with news, I think that is very dangerous because what am I getting? Am I getting news or am I getting propaganda? But we do have a caller. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, Katie Numi. How you doing today?
Good morning, man. I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good today. You're standing strong today, holding your fort down today.
Thanks.
Yeah, I hear you guys talking about Boo Kelly.
Yes.
I don't know too much about it. When I used to play soccer and travel through Central America, I would sometimes pass through El Salvador. And back in like 89, 90, 91, they had revolution back in those days in El Salvador. You see a lot of guerrillas at the airports.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have no understanding what was going on at that time because I was kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
I started the type of faith that was going through in the late 80s to early 90s with the revolution when I was at the airport passing through. One thing about El Salvador, right? We blacks in LA and everything, we don't too care much about the MS-13s or the 18th streets, right? Because they fight and feud in prison, but when they're in the LA County jail, they form against the black people. That's when the only time they get together, MS-13s and 18th streets, is when they're in prison. They get together, right? Because the mafia or the cartels put them together in prison to fight us blacks. Because blacks in prison. There's many times I'm in prison. I spent my time in prison before. Don't get me wrong and everything. There's many nights in prison with the MS-13s or the 18th streets that we got to sleep with our shoes on. You never know when you will get attacked in the middle of the night, because sometimes the mafia are blacks from outside the prison. It's more control from outside of the prison. But inside of the prison, they got mafia that controls the prison.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I want to remind Belizeans that, believe it or not, El Salvador also has Afro population. They have black Salvadorans, but you wouldn't know that because El Salvador, like Mexico, like a lot of these Latin American countries, do a massive work of not only genociding away their indigenous and black populations, but also very good erasure, not showing them any at all, not including them. In fact, Mexico famously didn't acknowledge her African population until 2015, which was, I noticed, strategically during the UN Decade of Afro-Descended People. So thank you for that contribution. And just to understand, when I talk about how we know make space provision, policies, constitution for black people, that's something that is endemic to the entire region, right? The same thing happens in Central America. The same thing happens in South America. Recently, as part of the membership, we had a lab week. So, because my mentorship is online, but we had a week where we met in person in Amsterdam, right, in the Netherlands. And one of the artists is from Argentina, and we were talking about different things. And I said, yeah, and you know, tango is black. And he's like, absolutely not. Now, you'd have said, why they argue with an Argentinian about tango? Well, tango is black, first of all. But you wouldn't know that even as an Argentine, because the black history of these countries aren't told. And that is with purpose. Again, moving back to the conversation that we had with X earlier, in that how history is taught is propagandized. Now, Argentina, very similar to Brazil, which Brazil, if you know, has the largest African population outside of the African continent in Latin America. Argentina had a very large African population, but they genocided that population. And the black Argentines that remain, because yes, there are black Argentines, the state of Argentina does a very good job of erasing their black population, disconnecting people from their cultural products like tango, right? So I am getting the signal for a break, so we'll have a break and then we wrap the show.
Here's how to be a part of Benny's Homecation in 3 easy steps. First, download the B-Bucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy. Then, shop at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Remember to choose products from our monthly Homecation Jackpot categories to earn entries. Now you can earn B-Bucks with purchases made and be a part of the Benny's Homecation Jackpot for a chance to win the $10,000 grand prize in December. Win the ultimate homecation with Benny's quality and savings.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Right, so 9 to 9, and I want to thank you so much for watching, listening on our streaming WB this morning. It has been, strangely enough, I was worried about this morning's conversation because still recovering from a bout of something, but I want to thank everybody who called in and participated. I was hearing in the sideline the unfortunate news of the passing of Miss Jenny Lovell, so want to give condolences to her family, of course. Definitely a huge figure in art in Belize, in culture in Belize. So I want to thank her and offer condolences to her family and friends. Definitely I need to thank the crew here, and Harlan Wagner Sr. or MCO, Anthony Grant, or the International Tony G, for our Creme FM simulcast. Definitely want to thank Clifton Lewis for the audio, camera, and everything that is set up before we get here. And thank you, everybody who watch, stream, call in, listen. I really, really appreciate you. Hopefully we could do this all over again next week. But for now, Belizeans, stand strong, stand firm. We gone.
Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize.
up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Another day is here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Billy's our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah.